going on? Happy Saturday to you guys. Almost Christmas time. It's kind of crazy. I mean, one more week till Christmas, 2 more weeks until the new year. It's been kind of a remarkable 2021 all around. So we're going to kick off this week as we do every single week, which asking you guys, where are you watching from today? It's interesting to see how many people are in the parks right now. The roads are kind of crazy. There's so many more people here in Orlando, which is very, very cool. Getting a lot of calls from you guys to go see houses. Hey, I'm in town this weekend. Can you guys accommodate and hang out with us a little bit? And so that's been a lot of fun helping get you guys into places. Yeah, Farmer George, we've got a countdown. We are super fancy now, letting things kind of roll through. I got a new internet service, so hopefully it won't lag as much as it did last time. Upgraded a little bit. I didn't know that I was on like the medium tier for Spectrum until I was just like, can't be like on my cell phone and also streaming live with you guys. So yeah, we upgraded a little bit. So getting a little fancy around here, man. A little bit better production value, But anyway, where are you guys watching from today? I appreciate you guys tuning in wherever that might be from. What's going on? Emily from Apopka out there crushing it. What's up, Charles? Watching from Maryland, but just bought a property in Palm Bay. Good to see you. Ben, what's going on from Central Jersey? Good to see you. Robert from Dallas. Hello. Tin Boy from Titan Boy, from Claremont. Good to see you. Katie from Maine. Tim, what's going on? My neighbor, Tim. Good to see you. So today we're diving into a few things, as the description said, is we're getting into some new developments that are happening here in Central Florida. There's a bunch of them that are starting to pop up, and finally dirt getting moved in some really cool areas around town, which I think is great. We're also seeing some Disney stuff pop up. I want to dive into that as well. And then as we do every week, whether you're watching this live or replaying back, make sure you drop some comments down in the below. We're asking Q&A is kind of what this show is all about, answering your questions live. So instead of just doing a one-on-one interview all the time, digging in and asking questions for the sake of everyone who's watching back. I think this is always a fun thing. So Kalamazoo, what's going on, Jeremy? Good to see you. Rose from Winchester, UK. Good to see you. Florida Dave from Zephyr Hills. Zephyr Hills, Dave, what's awesome about Zephyr Hills other than the water? What do you love about Zephyr Hills? I'm curious. What's going on, Jen from Kalamazoo as well? Good to see you. Natalie, Orlando, formerly LA. We helped 4 people on our team this week buy houses that used to live in LA that are now moving to Orlando. Some of them with the Disney move, other people just kind of changing pace a little bit, which is really cool to see. Dave says he likes Zephyr Hills because it's quiet and rural. I would agree, and especially the more Orlando gets built up, the more popular those rural places are going to become. So, Carol from Toronto, I appreciate you checking in. Our Canadian people here. So let's get into some of the new construction stuff from today. Let's see. Let me share this with you guys. So there's a few different ones I want to share with you guys today. One is Spring Isle Palms. This is actually a townhome development in Avalon Park. If you don't know where Avalon Park is, it's just over by Oviedo, kind of like 20 minutes from Lake Nona. Let's actually pull this up. Avalon Park. Boop, there we go. You got Lake Nona's down here. If you're going to follow up the 417, back up over here. You can also take the beach line up and then up Innovation Way. And it's got a super cute like downtown area. If you look here, this is kind of like their downtown area. It's got kind of a Celebration-esque vibe to it, but you've got some apartments, condos above retail, which I think is really cool. There's a few things I like about this though, but one, let's talk about Spring Isle Palms. This is going to be 88 townhomes that are going to be popping up. There's been like this empty land in the middle of Avalon Park forever. Avalon Park kind of started getting built up, really more popular right during the recession. And so it boomed, and then the recession hit, and then there's all this empty land kind of in their middle area. So new townhomes are going to finish out the downtown area. And so if you want to live in Avalon Park, but then also get something brand new, this is going to be like one of your more last options if you want to be right in this area. There's a couple other things in this area that I think are also really cool that are popping up that just like finished up maybe 2 months ago. Another food hall, which I'm a super big fan of food halls, but opened up. It's called the Marketplace, and there's 11 new artisans right in downtown Avalon Park. So you got Avalon Park General Store, barbecue, Korean barbecue, some Nola, lemon shark pokey, whole bunch of stuff there. Look how cute this is, though. This little general store. Heck yeah, I need to go visit this place. Actually, we're going to go do a video on this next week. So I'm just in general, Avalon Park. But that's one, new construction. If you're thinking about new construction and you want it, and a townhome's cool with you, that would be a really cool spot. What's going on from Portland? Oh, Portrush, North Ireland. What's going on? That's awesome. Thanks for checking in. Brian Tiller, I appreciate it, my friend. Good to see you. Adam from Manchester, UK. So let me ask you this. I've got a lot of people checking in from the UK, so I've got to ask the question. Are you guys, with like the whole new variant and new kind of things popping up in terms of what you need to do to get into the country and visit here, is that slowing you down? Is that making some of your things, are you changing kind of like your travel plans again? Or are you just going to kind of keep plowing through? I've heard kind of both. Some people are like, hey, I'm coming to the area for a month, and so if I have to quarantine or I have to do some things in and out, I don't really care. But if you're coming for a week, could hamper your travel plans potentially. Thank you so much, Cooper. Appreciate it. Happy holidays to you as well. Sherry, Avalon Park is going to be, my guess off my gut says 40 minutes just based off of 417, but let's do it together. Let's see how close I was. On, let's do directions. Avalon Park to Disney. Spring, call it 34 minutes as of right now. So not too bad at all. And you're outside, and here's a cool thing. So you see the airport right here. So you are 15 minutes from Lake Nona and the airport, 35, 40 minutes. I would say 40 minutes if you're thinking traffic from Disney, and you're outside of the tourist bubble. So good options there for sure. Eric says he used to live in Windermere, now in PA, but you want to move back soon. Love Celebration, but it's a little pricey. Prices in Celebration have definitely gotten more expensive. I thought the new section would actually quell some of the pricing in the older section because you'd have more inventory, but now it's just that there's just more and more people that want to be there, which is pretty awesome. I think it's awesome. But the older homes are starting to see values kind of creep up as well, which is kind of crazy, really. Hey, from Virginia, I appreciate it. Jason from Texas, you're hoping to get moved over next month. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Anthony, do I ever think there's going to be a Costco in Horizon West / Windermere? I don't know where they would put it in Horizon West. I think it's needed. Claremont, I believe, is going to be the closest Costco to us, and so that's going to be helpful, especially with all the new interchanges coming in. The more easy it gets to be from Horizon West over to Claremont, that's going to be a very busy Costco, that's for sure. Ben asks, what's the latest with Horizon West, Village Eye, Ovations? Have there been progress with Del Webb, Toll Brothers, etc.? Yeah, they're all selling. Toll Brothers is selling. Del Webb is selling in those little areas. They're actually redoing the whole road. I should get some video of this. They're kind of redoing Hartzog Road quite a bit, where it used to kind of like go down and L over. Now it's going to be this right through the Toll Brothers neighborhood and right along it. They're redoing this whole road. They shut it down. You can't get in all the way through. And I was there the other day, and they were putting down new like pipes and new roads and that sort of thing. So that whole area is definitely going to pop up. But yeah, they're selling in both. They're only releasing like 4 or 5 lots a month, and so you have to kind of get on their VIP list and then really stay on them for like the moment that they're ready to release. Speaking of this, so we've talked in the past about Sunbridge and what's going on in Sunbridge. So this is over in like Lake Nona adjacent Sunbridge is. Let me show you this real quick. They had told us for the longest time that they weren't going to start selling until Del Webb Sunbridge. So Del Webb's one of them, but the whole Sunbridge area is going to be all the way up and through here. So if you've got Lake Nona over here, you've got airport up here, Lake Nona, Sunbridge is going to be like all up and down here. They started selling this past week. Craft Homes specifically started selling in Sunbridge this week. They sold out in like 24 hours. They only had 11 lots that they were offering. Now they're getting ready to offer some townhomes over there. That's going to be releasing probably another week, and then the rest of the next like single family homes are going to be released in January, February timeframe. And it seems like everybody's pricing out somewhere in the high 4s, low 6s, depending on the lot, the model and all that kind of stuff that you pick. And so, yeah, there was kind of a surprise that Kraft popped those over. I mean, Kraft was owned by Tavistock. Now they're owned by Dreamfinders. So there's obviously some synergies there between the two companies that they had the first shot at it. But when Sunbridge does open up, it's going to be Toll Brothers, Ashton Woods, Kraft, Dreamfinders, and David Weekley, all 5 homes. And it's going to be in this neighborhood. The first neighborhood is going to be Westland Park. Let me show you this real quick. And pop. Let's see, quick moving home design site maps. There we go. So this is Westland Park. They've got all the different builders in here. They've got 22-foot rear load townhomes, 34-foot load single family rear load, and then they've got the 50 and the 60 front facing garage. It's very, very similar to Loria Park, in my opinion, the type of product that they're going to be putting in there in terms of stylistically. Here's a big change that they're doing in Sunbridge, though, is that they're all going to be wood framed houses. They're not going to be block construction. I think a big part of this is that they have all of this wood that they're getting repurposing. But yeah, they're not going to be, for whatever reason, doing block for the first foreseeable future. And they have this whole like pitch around it, how it's actually more eco-friendly and it's going to be even better for you for your energy bills and all these other kind of things. But time will tell on that one. But I'm actually going to go hear their pitch this week because I want to hear like, how do you sell when for years you've said block is the way to go, and then now people are popping over and saying, well, you know, wood's not that bad. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah. So sorry, Ben. Yeah, you mentioned the Hard Zog realignment. Hopefully they're opening up soon because they were paving the way. They're paving the road already. So it's going quickly. Yeah, Jay, you know, so you talked about the Orlando expansion airport. Do I think a new airport? I mean, they're spending like $3 billion on the new airport, and that's supposed to be bringing on like United's bringing a little bit of a hub here. I think it's JetBlue is the other one that's bringing another one here. But I think they need to redo the old terminals is what they really need to do. But yeah, they're saying that they're going to continue to increase that flow of people. Let's see. What's going on from Virginia? I appreciate you checking in. Good to see you. New community buildups in Mount Dora. Yeah, I mean, if you reach out to Bree on our team, she actually was just talking to me about a few different neighborhoods that we're helping people with new construction in Mount Dora. There's a bunch of new ones coming up. They're not as big. They're not as, you know, you're not seeing these like 2,000-3,000 home developments there because there's just not enough land and infrastructure to be built out there. But there's definitely opportunity if you're looking for new construction. Bree, Emily just sold one. I think actually she checked in earlier. She's sold one in Mount Dora. She's on our team. Plenty of opportunity for new construction. I'm a huge fan of like the Mount Dora area. I think those lakes out there, like Mount Dora, even like Eustis, Claremont, those areas are really going to get built up. We're looking for investment properties out there right now. What's going on? Shelly from Central Valley, California. I appreciate it. We look forward to helping you in a couple of years when you come here in 2023. Appreciate it. I find more and more of our clients are like, you know, we've been watching you for the past 2 years, planning, getting ready, and now we're ready, which is awesome. That's what we're here for. That is what we're here for. So what's the latest with Lake Nona Town Center? So I would say the latest for Lake Nona Town Center is that there's new buildings going up left and right. They've got, I think, a third of Town Center built out. The Wave Hotel, have you guys seen this Wave Hotel? I'm kind of obsessed. Wave Hotel, Lake Nona. This thing is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Here we go. Lake Nona Wave Hotel. Let me show you guys. So this is this first like boutique hotel opening up in Lake Nona, and the inside of it is just, it's like got this mid-mod vibe going on. I wish these photos were expandable, but there you go. You can kind of take a look. They've got new restaurants in the bottom. The pool and stuff kind of has a very California vibe. I'm super excited. So these guys open up in 2 days, actually. You can start booking already. So this is actually right in Town Center in Lake Nona, which is why I mentioned it. Beyond that, you've got the Disney campus and stuff coming as well. But in terms of like Town Center, there's new buildings going up left and right. Like every year, I think they're adding 100,000 square feet of commercial and retail. And so that'll eventually be 2.5 million, 3 million square feet of commercial retail all right there. So yeah, it's very fun to watch come together. Farmer George's son. I'll be in workforce before Sunbridge. Wow, Farmer George, how many accounts do you have, man? How many? I don't hate it. So Ben says he's missing the sun from a cold southeast UK, but on a positive, I saw Spider-Man No Way Home last night. No spoilers for sure. We've got tickets to see it on Wednesday. We're taking the family. We couldn't get out this weekend to see it. We wanted to see it in Dolby because I feel like that's like the experience you need. But the reviews from that movie are coming out, and they're like, it's not just the best Marvel movie ever. It's like, one of the best movies ever. So I'm pretty excited. Let's get back into some real estate news, though. All right. So for those of you guys that are in the Winter Garden vibe, we went from Avalon Park, which is like north of Lake Nona. We already kind of talked about that. But if you were looking for the Winter Garden area and you're looking for new construction, maybe even outside of Horizon West, this was an interesting one I found the other day driving around. It's Avalon Ridge. So not Avalon Park, but Avalon Ridge. Let me show you where this one's going to be because they just started moving dirt. Avalon Winter Garden. The reason I like this neighborhood is that they're going to be doing quarter-acre home sites, which for those of you that have checked out new construction at all here, most of our stuff is like pretty tiny. Like our house sits on a 0.13 acre lot, right? So these are going to be some quarter-acre lots. Let's see, where's Avalon here? Avalon up. This is where it's going to be, right in here. So the cool thing is you've got, not where this pin is, but down in this green space right here. So you've got like West Orange High up here. You've got plenty of shopping and all types of stuff, and they're putting it in right on this bend right here. There's all of these lakes and this whole area right here. This is going to be where Park Square Homes, which they build a good brand. They're good, like mid-grade builder for sure. There's going to be quarter-acre home sites. They're drawing up or cutting in roads right now, which means that they're probably 6 months from like actually selling. But if you wanted to start following a neighborhood, make sure you reach out to us. We can make sure you're on the VIP list and also keep you up to date as things kind of start popping up. But this is a really good one for us as well. Coming up. All right, so let me see. Eric says, do I see prices falling down at all, if at all? So I'm guessing that you mean back in Celebration, because you mentioned earlier, or just in general in Orlando. I don't see prices slowing. I see prices slowing down in terms of appreciation, right? We had 20% year over year price appreciation. Do I see that happening forever? No, definitely not. I'm guesstimating that we're going to be more of the 5 to 6% appreciation next year. And does that level off eventually? Sure. Yeah, I think so. But do I think it's going to go down to where all of a sudden you're going to get a steal? No, I don't. Because even if it goes up 5 or 6% next year and 3% the next year, and you wait 2 or 3 years to get in the game till the prices flatline, or even if it dips 5%, you're still going to be way behind after you've paid rent and all the other kind of stuff for a while. So, yeah. This is a good question from Patricia. Any condos coming in the future? Everything seems to be single family homes and townhomes. I agree with you. I did a video about coming soon to Orlando. There's a new condo hotel, like 5-star, right on overlooks at Lake Eola. Those are going to be more condos. I think they're going to be very expensive condos because of the building that it's going to be in. The Museum of Modern Art is going to be in the bottom floor of this. But in terms of like true condos, there are very few developers that are bullish on the condo thing. And so I don't know if it's just construction costs or what it might be. I do think that there's going to be some of these like old apartment buildings that do condo conversions because there are plenty of those around. But when I see all of these buildings going up left and right, it's just like all of these new apartments. And it's what people can afford. So that's what they're building. But I'm a huge fan of these like high-rise condo buildings, but they're just not doing them. Not right now anyways. All right, we got a couple more neighborhoods. Let's talk about them. All right, so you guys have heard me talk about Claremont and Mineola and Groveland, and really like if you're in the Horizon West, Windermere area and you're like, I'm kind of priced out, Claremont, Groveland, Mineola becomes kind of like your next step. It's an extra 10, 15 minute drive depending on how far you are. And so there's a lot of new developments coming in the area. This is the Villages at Mineola Hills. They've got a new series coming out with Meritage Homes. They're already selling these ones right now. If you want to look at where these are, I can pull this up for you. Right off of the toll road here, there's a lot of new neighborhoods. Ashton Woods has them coming in. There's actually like 1,300 new homes coming in right here. Talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but they're now finally selling, which I think is like, I'd love telling you guys what's coming, but you can't buy a lot of these things right away. These guys are actually can go up there and buy right now. And so right up the turnpike, not too far from everything else. You've got Bella Colina down right here. So if you know where that's at in Montverde, right up the road, you've got a lot of new construction options that are actually you can jump on right now. They're selling right now, which I think is great. One of the last ones I was actually going to show you, but insanely have now been sold out. This is right in downtown Winter Garden. There were only nine of these really high-end townhomes, going back to Patricia's question about townhomes versus new construction, but right in downtown. And they were starting at $1 million and going up, which to me seemed crazy because they're 2,500 square feet up to 3,800 square feet. They did have rooftop decks and all this other kind of stuff, but they sold out so fast. They just started construction on them and they're already sold out. And so that kind of gives you a little bit of the appetite for the Winter Garden area in general when you have these like really high-end townhomes. Because really, townhomes, even if they're 3,000 square feet, if you're over in Winter Park, these are selling for $3 million, especially with these kind of finishes. And so if you're thinking about getting in somewhere that's kind of on the come up, Winter Garden is still, I think, especially downtown Winter Garden, the more that gets redeveloped, the more opportunity there is if you're looking for investment or just find a good spot for you early on without getting too crazy. So is there a time frame when we can expect Westland Park to start building and estimate closing time frame? Brooke, I would guess that you're thinking late next year. With the current status of the neighborhood, I would think that like late 2022 is when you're going to be moving in. But they're going to start selling first quarter. Like all of the builders should be starting to sell first quarter, moving in later next year. Yeah, so Jay, I talked about this in the past, but I think NeoCity just got a huge like moving forward, and a lot of you guys have reached out about this place lately, which I think is great. But NeoCity had like a $1.5 billion, or I think it was originally 1.2, and the guy dropped it to 1 billion. Like I don't know what the $200 million went, but here you go. This is a new article right here. Osceola Inc.'s agreement for $1 billion NeoCity Town Center. And so this South Korean developers come in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna build this out, make it very, very tech friendly, STEM friendly, and kind of help redevelop the whole area." And so this is Kissimmee, St. Cloud kind of area. And right now, there's really not a ton around there. But you start reading out how many people that own land around NeoCity, where they were like asking $200,000 for an acre of land. Now they're asking $500,000 for an acre of land. Everything in this NeoCity area is going to be, especially 4 or 5 years from now, is going to be amazing in terms of like tech jobs and like redeveloping the whole area. But then what it does for these surrounding areas is also really impressive. And so there's plenty of like residential older homes already in those areas that are actually super affordable. And so if you're looking to get again on the inside track of something, I would kind of look in that NeoCity area as well. Let's talk about a couple Star Wars things or Disney things, if that's okay. What's going on from Rob F. from Long Island? Appreciate you checking in, my friend. So what have you guys heard about this Star Wars hotel? I'm like, if you haven't seen like photos and like what it's actually going to be, I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'm sure a lot of you guys already have, but check this out. So you've got the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. It's a 2-night immersive adventure, and it's a hotel. It's basically like you lock in, you're part of it. It's immersive. You guys have probably seen this before. But one of the things that like was coming out was that people were canceling left and right after Disney posted some video about what the actual hotels were going to look like and what the actual experiences were look like. So like before, you couldn't really even get any confirmations or any reservations in March, April, or May, and now you've got a bunch of dates kind of opening up. I think people were, in my opinion, maybe prematurely canceling, and that's why March, like we're actually going in March, like one of the first weeks, my family and I, we're going to go and try it out. I'm not too scared because I think Disney, especially in today's regard, their experiences start to get better. Look at the Rise of Resistance ride and the start, all the stuff that they've done in Batu and Galaxy's Edge. It's incredible. And so if they can bring a semblance of that to a hotel and experience, I think it's going to be amazing. But you're seeing a lot of people jump ship, not like pun intended, they're jumping ship from these guys and canceling out the rooms. And it's not cheap, right? I understand why. If you look at the cabins, it's kind of like set up almost like a cruise, right? You've got the standard cabin, sleeps two, you've got a couple bunks up here. You've got the Galaxy suite. They're not cheap. They're $1,200 per guest per night, or $4,800 total for 2-guest cabin, and they go up from there. $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. So not cheap at all. But people are jumping ship, and so I've talked to a couple of Disney people that were clients and also friends and just other people that are affiliated with, and they're saying basically like, hey, listen, the people that are saying that it's going to be cheap are silly, and it's really more clickbait. You look at some of these websites, they're set up to get clicks. I get it, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm curious what you guys think about the Star Cruiser. What's going on, Brad from Maui? What's going on, buddy? The man. If you guys ever need anything in Calgary, I know a lot of you guys kicking up in Canada here. Check out Brad McCallum. He's a good friend of mine. Sells a lot of real estate up in Calgary. He's in Maui right now because he lives in Calgary usually, and it's December. So there's that. Titan Boy asks, the Lake Nona Lagoon, what's that all about? So that's been, I believe they just put that back online. They stopped it because of COVID. So I'll show you what's going on here. So there's actually like five first of 5 planned inland lagoons coming to Central Florida. Developer working on its way through permits, breaking ground in Orange County. This was July of this year. So these are what these things are going to look like. Essentially, like if you want to, instead of going to the ocean, they're bringing the ocean to you, where they've got kind of beachfront lagoons that you can swim through and all of these different events. There's going to be one in Lake Nona. There's one they're all over. There's 5 of them. I can actually do a little article about this. Anyways, the one in Lake Nona was paused for a while, and I have not seen that they've kicked back up construction. I was actually driving back through there over by the USTA. I didn't see any dirt getting moved, but that's going to be one that's going to be very similar, I think, to the Wave Hotel, but then you've got this amenity of the Lake Nona Lagoon. It's going to be very cool. Charlie asks, what are my thoughts on Gotha? I think it's great. I mean, especially you're like Windermere adjacent over there. And so you're able to get like a nice gated community. Most of the houses were built in like the mid 2000s. So, you can get a nice pool home though, and a gated community, Windermere adjacent, for a good price. So I think there's some really great pockets of Gotha that you should not sleep on. Ned Kelly, happy holidays. Appreciate you checking in. Good to see you, my friend. So Avalon Ridge from Rollins. Let's see. Let's do this together. Not that far. From Rollins and Winter Park? Or, let's see, Avalon Ridge. Yeah, I mean, I think Avalon Park is where you want to go. If you're talking about the new one to Rollins, you're probably 45 minutes away. If I'm just going to throw that out there. So, because this is like, if you're talking about the Park Square homes that I was talking about just earlier, you're like on the farther part of Winter Garden, and then you're going all the way to Winter Park. It's a solid 45 minutes. Yeah, easily. Adam, there's not, man. So are there new options? Are there options for new homes that come furnished? So for the majority, no. There's plenty of resale homes that come furnished here, though, because you've got down in the resort market, there are plenty of places that people pop in and will do an Airbnb, completely furnish it out and call it a day. Now, there were some builders that were partnering with designers that said, hey, for 75, 80, 90 grand, we'll just furnish the whole house for you. But then you're financing furniture over 30 years, which kind of seems like a terrible investment to me, especially when that furniture usually doesn't last more than 5. And so if I were you, the best buy is to find as new of a house as possible that comes furnished. That's the buy. That's the buy right there if I'm you. Jay asks, whatever happened to the thousands of homes Zillow bought in Orlando? Is it still are they still on the market? Well, I'll tell you what, man, there weren't thousands that were actually in Orlando, But I'm going to do this live with you guys. I'm going to look up and see exactly how many homes that they actually have on the market. They were releasing 3 to 4 a day for quite some time, and then really kind of slowed down. I know the biggest market that they owned in was Phoenix, and Phoenix, they flooded the market, and a lot of them were getting bought up quite fast. Let's see, more agent office search. I'll show you guys. I'll show you in the background. Office name, Zillow Homes Group. There, quick search. Listing agent ID. That doesn't seem right. They have 0 homes on the market. Let's try it again. Let's grab the next one. Zillow Home Inc. Active on the market. Listing office ID 0. Very weird. So yeah, I don't see any houses on the market right now currently. That doesn't seem right though. They have to have some houses. I'll take a look. They were releasing like 2 or 3 houses. Like it wasn't that much. It really wasn't. Office name. Like really, what the heck? Zillow Homes, these are all the people that work for them. This is their main office ID. Hopefully this is really geeking out. Jay, you're a longtime watcher, so let's see. Let's see if we're Orange County, Lake County. That's Little Oak. We'll go down, figure out listing agent next some office ID. There we go. There we go. Finally. Jeez, that took me way too long. They currently have 53 homes on the market in all of Central Florida. And so you can kind of see here the majority of them, active days on market. 1, 5 there. A couple of them been on the market for a few months. So again, they've been releasing, you can see over here how often they're releasing houses. It's not that often. This one's been on the market for 5 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They released 10 houses on the market across 5 counties. And you're talking about there's 4,000 homes listed currently. So in terms of like the number of homes for sale that are owned by Zillow, it's pretty small. It's a good little exercise. I appreciate you asking the question because I haven't checked in on it probably for 3 or 4 weeks just to see if they were going to like flood the market. They're smart. I think at this point, they don't want to lose more money, and yet they do want to get as many of them off the books by the end of the year. We're already, 2 weeks from the end of the year. So they're just going to carry over into next year and kind of settle out the rest of what they have, and I think they'll be good to go. What are my thoughts on Apopka? So Apopka, you've got a lot of land up in Apopka. I think you've got plenty of opportunities. There's just not a lot of stuff there yet. I think that it's very reminiscent, in my opinion, of what I've seen. Very similar to Claremont, what that was 3, 4, 5 years ago. And so that being said, pricing there is starting to creep up because people are pushing out from all of the other areas. So I think Apopka it's accessible via freeway, so you're good there. I think that, it's going to be one that's going to definitely pop up. I think Claremont has more upside than Apopka, personally. Star Wars Hotel is beyond my paycheck. That's understandable. We've been saving up for quite some time since they originally released it. Heard after commercial on Parade, they're canceling. Yeah. I was wondering if there's rumors come true about cancellations. Yeah. So Jason, I was curious, man, because I think about there's no way that these bloggers can actually see if there's been cancellations. All they can actually see is that there's openings on different days. And my curiosity was that early on was Disney like saying, hey, we're only going to be at 50% capacity to see how the first month goes. And then once they started getting people on, they're like, well, you know what, maybe we can actually take more capacity, and they open more people up. You don't actually know one way or the other. I'm going to report back though. We're doing it. I think we're going to be like the 10th day that it's open. We're going to be there, and I'm going to report back. I don't know if I'm going to vlog the whole thing because I do want to appreciate the experience with my family, but I will definitely take a ton of pictures and video and see what we can do around that. It's hard to tell. Yeah, Tim, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's hard to tell how it's going to be based on the video alone, and because so much of it was like renderings and all this other stuff, it wasn't like the actual hotel. So we'll see, man. I don't know. You guys got a ton here. This is a good one. So the real. What are our thoughts on Davenport, Haines City for purchasing a home? I think it's a super affordable area that has a lot of newer construction homes. You can still get stuff under 325 new construction, and that's very, very hard to do in Central Florida unless you're thinking of townhome. But if you want like a single family home, low 300s, even Haines City, some parts are high 200s, you can still get a house brand new. So from that perspective, I think it's fantastic. I think it's another area that very much like Apopka, there's not a lot there yet. And so you're buying like much ahead of the curve. And so if you're okay with that, if you're okay driving 20 minutes to get to all the amenities, 30 minutes to get to all the amenities that you really want, then the Davenport, like South Davenport and Haines City, super affordable, fantastic. Now, some of the other areas around Davenport, like technically Champions Gate is in Davenport. A lot of the area around 27 is very accessible to a lot of plenty of good stuff. Then the conversation becomes, are you okay with having a bunch of like Airbnbs in your neighborhood? Some neighborhoods in Davenport don't allow short-term Airbnbs. Many do. And so that becomes your decision if that's something that you're cool with. I know some of my clients don't care. They think it's cool to live in the resort market, and I think that's awesome. Other ones are like, well, I kind of want to know my neighbors. I want to know who's coming in. I don't want there to be parties at 10 o'clock at night, next door to me or down the street. And so that just becomes your personal preference on what there are. But there's great opportunity in terms of pricing. Do I think that rising interest rates will have an impact on Orlando real estate? And yeah, interest rates have been going up and down. They're up and down like on a daily, weekly basis. They go up a quarter point, drop a quarter point. It's been kind of crazy. But in general, if they go up, and the Fed did talk about next year, they're talking about raising it potentially 3 times instead of just once. I do think that's going to slow the market down. And I think that that's probably a good thing because inflation being what it is, people need to be able to afford some houses, and employers are not keeping up with wages. So if you don't start doing something with these prices, it's going to be a problem. So any news about Dream Finders, the builders off of Reams Road? So there's a sign that went up on this massive piece of land over off of Reams Road in Horizon West / Winter Garden, or Windermere rather. Reams Road. Go. Let me show you where they're thinking here. So you've got all of this land, like this huge piece. Here's a Horizon West right here. Oops, Jesus. There we go. Horizon West is right here. You've got Disney's Magic Kingdom right here. So this is like one of the reasons why so many people love Horizon West, because it's not short-term rental at all. They don't allow Airbnbs at all, but you're so close to Disney. So you have a lot of people that will use 429, the back way, to get into work at Disney or use as Disney. But you've got this whole space right here, this massive, massive piece of land that Dream Finders is going to be building out. They've got a sign there that's been there for 4 months and really haven't done any movement on it. I was pulling permits around it. Sorry, wrong screen. I was pulling permits, trying to see if anything had been pulled. Nothing has been pulled there. So I think that my guess is that they're finishing out the stuff over in Hamlin first, and then they're going to be moving over this way. But that's going to be a really great location. I mean, you saw the land is fantastic. The location's fantastic. That's going to be a really premier site for them. And I kind of feel like they probably overpaid on the land, and so they want to have pricing kind of catch up to be able to make money there. That would be my guess. What's going on, Johnny from Livonia, my old stomping grounds? Good to see you, man. It's got to be chilly up there. It's got to be rather chilly in Detroit today. It's 33 degrees in Detroit. That's just why I live in Orlando. God bless. Yeah, so any news on the Brightline train and where the Orlando or where in the airport the hub will be accessed? No, they haven't put out any of that stuff. They just said that basically it's going to go from Miami to Fort Lauderdale to Cocoa Beach to MTO, the airport, and MTO over to Disney, and then Disney to Tampa. So that's all we know. And I had a bunch of you guys actually reach out after I did the Brightline story to say like, hey, just so you know, I'm hearing that there's all this hold up at the state with funds and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Everything that I keep seeing comes out says that it's moving forward. So until I see something differently, that's what I'm going to go with. But no, they haven't been a specific place yet. I would hope that the new Brightline would go into the new terminal, Terminal C, just because it's new and there's a lot of like room over there. Whereas the old stuff seems already cramped enough with a lot of traffic already. I couldn't imagine adding more traffic to MCO where the old terminals are. So I'm hoping that it's going to be in the new terminal. All right, so best value looking mid 200s. I think you have to look at like, this is like always the conversation I talk about with people that are like coming to the area. Like what are the amenities that are most important to you? Are you looking to be close to the theme parks? Are you looking to be close to your work? Are you looking to be close to downtown or the airport? All of that's number one. Now there's pretty much something in the 200s in any section of Central Florida, depending on, again, now what you're looking for in terms of house. If you can do a condo or a townhome, there's going to be plenty of areas. One of the things people mentioned was Haines City. I think in the 200s, you're going to be good there. The farther out you get, the more house you get for your money. That's the secondary kind of thing. So yeah, what area of town that you want to be closest to in proximity? What type of home do you actually want a home versus condo? Can you afford those HOA fees? All of those are questions that you need to ask yourself, but feel free to reach out and we can kind of help you with that path. Johnny says, Johnny lives in Livonia up in Michigan, but then has a place in Haines City. He said he would buy there again. So I agree. I think it's a good spot, especially for that budgetary, like that entry level budget. It's great. This is a really good question from Cuts67. Thank you for asking it. So he says, a large number of these homes are relisted and then pending relisted again. Is that they're not appraising for it or what, right? And so I've got to show you, this is something we do every week. We talk about the market watch and what's going on here in our area. You've got these houses here, new listings for all 5 counties is 642 over the past 7 days. There's been 108 with price decreases, 181 had decreases, but then these big ones right here, back on the market, 218. And that's actually quite a big number. It really is quite a big number. And you look at sold, almost 1,000, pending over 1,000. How that keeps up, I don't know, other than new construction. They put them on the market in the MLS and then mark them pending immediately. But this back on market number right here at 218, that's actually quite high. You think about essentially a third of the houses or a third of the number of homes hitting the market are homes that are coming back on the market for one reason or another. And so the big things we see right now are inspections. So buyers are coming to inspection and saying like they want the world. And because they're like, we already feel like we're overpaying for houses in this market, we want the house to be like perfect. But at the end of the day, the sellers know that it is a seller's market and they're just going to go back on the market and get probably what they were asking, if not more. And so you've got this kind of like back and forth. The secondary thing is appraisals. Appraisals are now starting to catch up, but you got to remember appraisals are a picture of the past. They're allowed to go 6 months ago to pull value and figure out what is sold 6 months ago all the way till yesterday and use those comparable sales, right? And so if the appraisal comes in low, the sellers are going back to the buyer and saying like, hey, I appreciate that you can't get financing, but it's not our problem. So we're going to go back on the market. We're going to split the cost difference for you. So maybe you sold a house or you bought a house for $450,000 and it only appraised for $430,000. There's a $20,000 differentiation that the bank is going to say, hey, you need to come up with your down payment plus the differentiation from the purchase price and the appraised value. And so most sellers are going to tell the buyer, sorry, like you have to move forward or back out. So those are the 2 biggest reasons. The third one would be that the buyers got denied a loan. That's not happening as often right now because as long as you have a solid pre-approval on the way in, you're good to go. So it's usually an inspection or appraisal. Super good questions. So asking Mahmoud, you had asked about the Reams Road project by Dreamfinders. They haven't released pricing at all. If it's similar to the Dreamfinders project in Hamlin, because they're so close together, not the same zip code, but they're darn close together, same schools anyways, I would guess that they're going to be starting in the 500s and going into the 8s or 9s, depending on what you get. There's really no water back there, so I think you're going to be maybe conservation lots potentially, but there's no water back there, so I don't think prices are going to get too out of control. I think 5 to 8s makes sense, depending on size. Johnny says it's freezing rain right now. Oh boy. Good to see you from London. I appreciate you checking in. A lot of UK people today. I feel like it's probably a little dreary over there. It's December, holiday time, thinking about Orlando. And I appreciate you checking in. It means a lot. Editor says, hello from Brazil. Do you think that there will be a huge appreciation in Sawgrass Bay once the road connections on Wellness Day complete and Wellness Day completion? Yes, I do. I think that once the Wellness Way and the extension comes through, I think the appreciation in Claremont begins immediately. We're already starting to see it because now that they're moving dirt and things are actually happening in those areas, you've got Flamingo Crossing that's open, you've got Wellness Way, or not Wellness Way, I'm blanking on it, but the connection way back towards Disney, all of those stuff's getting built out. I think people are starting to see like that's an actual reality. Western Way is the one I was thinking. And so, yeah, I definitely think that's a great spot to purchase. Now, when is it going to happen? When is the extension actually going to happen? I have no idea. It's literally like 40 feet of property that they need to move and connect the road, and then we're done. So when it happens, I don't know. They said it was supposed to be this year. Didn't happen. So hopefully now it's next year. Yeah, so similar question from the same gentleman there, or gal. Yeah, so Serenoa Lakes, that whole Claremont area up and down, I think it's going to be fantastic. Kendra, I have not heard about the Rose Art District. Oh, wait, actually, I think I did it. Let's see, the Rose Art District. Let's talk about it. Yeah, no, totally. We talked about this not too long ago. This is an interesting one because I think the whole area, I talk about like, around, oops, let me put this up for you guys to see. So you've got Lake Orlando. This is all like right downtown. This area is not fantastic in terms of real estate options for people. It's mostly older stuff. You're really not too far from so much going on in Orlando. But yeah, you look at what they're looking at developing over there. I'll pop this over real quick. Rosemont, this is the new district that they're talking about putting in here. So food market, there's a whole bunch of new developments they're going to do, like, and look at this is like gorgeous. Mostly apartments though, unfortunately, but I think what they're doing a good job of now that this is coming back to my recollection is that they're going to be putting in like a bunch of like agriculture, kind of like, hey, you can grow plants here, neighborhood agriculture kind of thing, which is very similar to the grow neighborhood, the agri-hood that they're creating here. There are going to be a lot more like amenities in this area. It's going to be mostly apartments, some houses, some residential that you can actually purchase and own. But I think what they're trying to do is just redevelop this whole area, especially around the lakes and all of like the natural resources that they have over there. So I think that one, the Packing District, there's a lot of these like little neighborhoods, or I mean, they're not little, they're like 1,000, 1,500 kind of units that are popping up in these gentrification kind of areas is what they're doing. They're taking these old industrial broken down neighborhoods and completely flatlining them and making something really cool out of it. Now, the big piece around this is, are they going to do any affordable housing, which I think they need to. You can't keep pushing people out of urban areas and not giving them some place that makes sense to go. Or you offer some job training and better paying jobs so that they can stay. I think that's the other option. So yeah, very interesting. What's going on, Chris? Great show, man. I gotta catch up with you here after this. Happy holidays to you as well, my friend. Good to see you. Glad you mentioned Claremont. That's my target area besides Windermere. Yeah, I mean, I think that Windermere's getting pricey, and there's really no new construction. There's like one more new construction neighborhood in Windermere by Ryan Homes, and then beyond that, you're going to get pushed out to some other areas. Horizon West being one of them. Florida Dave says, even Zephyr Hills are building like crazy. Won't be rural and quiet much longer. You nailed it, man. That's it. These builders, here's what's crazy. Lake County, we've talked about this in the past. Lake County has I think something like 12,000 lots that they're already working on. And then beyond that, you start getting pushed out. That's why I said originally it was like Claremont, but then now it's Mineola, Groveland, on and on, Zephyr Hills. And so you have a lot of these big box builders that are going in very heavily because Orange County's gotten so expensive that really their options become like Osceola, which is massively rural still. That's why Sunbridge and these other areas are coming, or Lake County. And so Lake County is like the next frontier. If you're moving to Orlando and you're in, regardless of price point you're in, if you want lakefront, you get the Harris chain of lakes. You've got so many other options for you over there. You can still get something affordable on the water, which you can't do in some of these other cores just yet or anymore. Here's a good question. Let me put some thought into this. Do I think the annual pass downgrades and perks at Disney will impact the real estate market since many people move there to visit WDW whenever they want? So I have an annual pass. We don't go nearly as much as we used to, not because there's so many people still. And I think that Disney, their business, and while I believe in magic and I believe in all these other amazing things, they're doing this for the stock price and to make money. And so when you look at, they downgrade the passes and yet still a ton of people come, they know the data way better than I do. And so I don't think that they're going to be hurting in terms of people coming and spending money. Now, real estate wise, do I think that that's going to hurt us one way or the other? Well, I think that people still come for a myriad of reasons. Moving here for jobs is still kind of the number one thing. You've got a lot of people that move here to work from home and then use Disney as an amenity. So is that going to change because they can't go there 2, 3, 4 times a week and they only go once a week? I don't think so. It's a good question. I will say this, kind of following up on this though, now that I'm thinking about this capstone, I have had a few sellers reach out to me recently, and this is a very small number, from outside of the country or outside of the area. And they do say that, hey, listen, for us to come down and spend a ton of time at Disney is now getting more expensive than ever. We think we're going to sell and capitalize on the market right now while the market's super, super high, and then just kind of wait to see what happens. Could that be a trend? Potentially. It's only 2 or 3 people over the past month for me, so I'll have to wait to see. Interesting thought, though. I'll keep you updated on it. Robert says rainy and cold in Dallas. You're thinking of Orlando. I'll tell you what. I was in Dallas in February, and it was freezing. I had no idea that Dallas. Like I was like, oh, Texas is the same climate as Florida. I'm sure. No, it gets freezing there. I was crazy. So Farmer George, similar question to Capstone. Do I think the metaverse will affect local real estate since people outside of Central Florida will be able to go to Disney virtually in the metaverse? I don't know, man, but I'm trying to figure out how to sell real estate in the metaverse. Have you seen some of these articles about people selling $2, $3, $4 million pieces of land in the metaverse that doesn't really even exist yet? I don't know. I've got a quick question out about property. Are you still driving a Range Rover? Yes, I am. Favorite car I've ever owned. All right. I think I've got, let's see, one more question or one more thing for you guys. Let's see. Oh, I thought this was cool. So you guys ever gone to Hollywood Studios and saw Indiana Jones and the whole show? So that's actually coming back this weekend on the 19th. I'm super excited. So Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular returns December 19th to Hollywood Studios. That's tomorrow. So they're redoing, I guess, like a few of the scenes. They're introducing some of the stunt people earlier in the show, Disney says. So there's a whole video here I'll drop down in the comments below. But if you haven't been before, or you haven't got to like be one of the people, okay, so if you go to see the show, it's cool, stunt spectacular. Usually they say they pull people from the crowd to be extras in the show. And I did that once. It was so much fun. My heart was pounding because I was nervous. But I'm curious, because of COVID, if they're going to still now bring people in and have you wear the garbs, and because they put you in a costume and that kind of thing. So if you've watched this video on replay and you've seen the show now, are they still doing it? I want to know. Please drop down in the comments below. One of my favorite shows. I'm so excited that they didn't retheme it or just shut it down in general. I'm glad it's coming back. It's going to be very, very cool. Thank you so much, Eric. I so appreciate it. Eric and Chris. Oh, awesome. Agents up there. That's fantastic. That is exciting. Real estate's a fun business. Trying to change it up and not be so just salesy all the time. Try to give some value if I can along the way. So this is what I'm going to end for today. We dove into some new developments, new areas. If you have questions about what we talked about today, make sure you reach out. My team and I, we're specialists in all of the different areas. So depending on where you're looking, we will have somebody on the team that will crush it for you. If you're looking to buy a short-term rental, you're looking to buy a long-term rental, you're looking in downtown, you're looking in Mount Dora, we've got somebody on the team or myself that can help you guys on your journey. So thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you guys have an amazing holiday season. We'll see you after the first of the year. Talk to you soon.